Good morning, children. In geography subject, today we will start our new chapter, that is water resources. So see, before starting our chapter, I'll explain you about what is water resources. See, water resources are natural resources of water that are potentially useful. Uses of water include agricultural, industrial, household, recreational and environmental activities. All living things require water to grow and reproduce. This is water resources. Now see, in this page I have written subunit of this chapter. So we will discuss about these subunit. See, look at here. Our first point is our water resources. In this our water resources we will discuss about the surface water, groundwater and lagoon and backwater. Okay. See the second point, importance and need for irrigation in India. What is the need of irrigation? Now see, what is irrigation? Artificial application of water to the soil for growing crops. This is called irrigation. Clear? Now see, means of irrigation, canals, tanks, wells, these are the means of irrigation. So in third point we will discuss about these means of irrigation. Now see fourth one, favorable factors required for development of irrigation. What are the favorable factors? In fifth point we will discuss about need for conservation of water. What is the need to save our water? Sixth point, conservation of water. How we have to save water. Next is rainwater harvesting. How we can utilize rainwater. This utilization of water, rainwater, is called rainwater harvesting. 8th point, advantages of rainwater harvesting. What are the advantages of harvesting rainwater? Okay. In 9th point, area where rainwater harvesting is being practiced and rainwater harvesting techniques. So one by one we will discuss about these points. Now see, our next point is our water resources. First point is our water resources. So I already told you about that. We will discuss here about surface water and groundwater. Surface water and groundwater. So look at here. India is a land of rich natural resources, water being one of the most vital of all. India being essentially an agricultural country, we need water for agriculture as well as industry. Okay, water is stored in reservoirs behind dams to supply water to villages and cities. We save water there and afterwards regularly we are supplying these water to villages and cities. It is also used for irrigation, production of hydroelectricity and navigation. So multiple uses are there that we already experience in our routine life, that how water is essential for us. Now see the next point, demand for water increasing rapidly. Because of the population increasing, not only these factors are responsible, lots of uses are there. So we are using these water resources abundantly. So the demand is increasing with the increasing in population, whereas the supply of water remains the same. That our resources are limited. We have a limited resources of water. So that means our supply is limited. But our uses and their consumption is nowadays we can say unlimited, because abundantly we are using. So many things are there in factories, in industries, the water is needed. Not only these, not only in industries and these factories, even in our regular life, in routine life, we are using water abundantly. So carefully we have to use, because our demand is day by day increasing but supply is same. Now see the next point, India occupies only Here I had written, see here, India occupies only 2.45% of the world's surface area and in the home of 16% of the world's surface area. It is the 16% of the world's surface area and the home of 16% of the world's population. 16% of the world's population. As against the India has only 4% of the world's water resources. We have only 4% of the world's water resources. 4% only. Okay. Even this limited supply can be depleted or made unusable by extensive utilization, pollution and poor management of water. Now see, we receive plenty of water in the short rainy season and the remaining part of the year remains dry. Under such condition, the balance between the demand and supply has to be maintained. We have to maintain the demand and supply because we are getting water only in rainy season. So at limited time we are getting water and we have to use it whole year. So the main sources of water, they are as follows. I had written here the main sources of water: surface water, groundwater, lagoons and backwater. See, look at here, surface water, groundwater, lagoons and backwater. Now see, first I am going to explain you about surface water. So see, surface water resources in India. Now see, what is surface water? First we have to know about what is surface water. Water available on the surface of the earth in the form of rivers, lakes, ponds and canals. These are called surface water. Okay. Now see, rainfall is the main source of fresh water in India. We all know rainfall is the main source of fresh water in India. Water in India from a precipitation along snowfall. Snowfall is also included in that. Okay, India receives 4,000 kilometer cube. That means receives 4,000 kilometer cube rainwater. A good part of it is lost through the process of evaporation. How we are losing this part? Evaporation and plant transpirations. Large part of water percolates in the groundwater. Percolate, that means it is going under the water, ground. Percolate in the ground and is available to us in the form of groundwater. Okay, it's percolate in the ground and we receive that water in the form of a groundwater. Now see, surface water is available on the surface of the earth in the form of rivers, lakes, ponds and canals. However, river comprise the most important source of surface water. India is blessed with a large number of major, medium and small size river. We have three types of river, that is major, medium and small size river. Okay. Of the major river, the Ganga Brahmaputra Meghna system is the biggest with a catchment area of about 110 million hectare. Understand? We have these part, Ganga Brahmaputra Meghna system. We have a 110 million hectares. Most of the Himalayan rivers are large and originated in the snow-covered high altitude areas of the Himalayan ranges. As such, they carry sufficient water throughout the year and are called perennial rivers. It is called the perennial rivers because whole year they are flowing. And they are formed in the Himalayan range, altitude areas of the Himalayan range. As such, they carry the sufficient water throughout the year. So that's why they are called the perennial rivers. Got it? Now see, in contrast, the rivers of the peninsular India are seasonal. These peninsular India are seasonal. They are seasonally flowing. They carry no or very little water in the dry summer season. They are carrying very little or sometime and no or water in dry summer season. Okay. Here I had written all the main points of the surface water resources in India. Okay, so go through chapter, read it very carefully. Now we will discuss about groundwater. Second point is groundwater, na? So we will discuss about groundwater. So first we have to understand about what is groundwater. See, the part of rainwater that seeps through the cracks and crevices into the ground is called groundwater. Whenever it is seeps in the ground, it is called groundwater. See, groundwater represent one of the most important water sources in India and accounts for over 4,000 km cube of the annual utilizable resources in country. The distribution of groundwater is very uneven in India because our tropically we are unevenly distributed. That's why the distribution of groundwater is very uneven in India. The presence and availability of groundwater varies greatly with the changes in topography, surface geology and the prevailing climate in the region. Now see the next point. In some areas, groundwater exists in deep aquifers, while in other, the water is stored near the surface. The location of the aquifers also affect its recharge rate and its susceptibility to pollution and overuse. Now see, first we have to know about what is aquifers. Aquifer is an underground layer of water bearing permeable rock fracture or unconsolidated materials. What are the unconsolidated material? That is gravel, sand, silt. These are unconsolidated materials. Groundwater can be extracted using a water well. Now see, the study of water flow in aquifers and characterization of aquifer is called hydrogeology. Okay. Now see, in general, the mountainous and hilly region in the north and the west India do not allow adequate infiltration, and as a consequence groundwater is mostly limited in plains and other low-lying areas. Clear? Now see, in the peninsular part of India, the underlying geology limits the formation of large continuous aquifers. As a result, the overall yield potential in this region is low. It is very low. Now see, coastal region. Only point I had written here, coastal regions are usually rich in groundwater owing to the largely alluvial terrain. The alluvial tract of Gangetic Plain, which extends over 2,000 km across central and northern India, has the best potential for groundwater extraction in the country. Due to the highly variable nature of climate, groundwater has become a popular alternative for irrigation and domestic water use across India. In addition to being accessible, groundwater quality is generally excellent in most areas. and present a relatively safe sources of drinking water for Indians in rural and urban areas. Got it? So abundantly it is available for the people of India. I hope clear this groundwater. Okay. Now come to third point that I had explained here now about the surface water, groundwater, lagoon and backwater. Now see, come to our next point, lagoon and backwater. Lagoons and backwater. India has a very long coastline stretching over more than 6,000 kilometers. This coast is very intended in some states like Kerala, Odisha, where a large number of lagoons have been formed. Lagoons have been formed. Now see that we all know our India is a peninsular country. How it is peninsular? See, look at this map. See these areas. It is a peninsula because here Arabian Sea is there, water is available. This is the coastal areas, okay. Indian Ocean, here also water is available. Bay of Bengal. So these areas, the coastal, very large. India has a very long coastline stretching over more than 6,000 kilometers. Look at here, it covers the 6,000 kilometers. So these lagoons and lakes serve as a surface water resources, although the quality of water is generally brackish in nature. These are used for fishing and irrigating paddy crops and coconut. We know that paddy crops and coconuts grown in these areas because these are the coastal areas. Got it? Now see here, one more diagram is given there. Look at here, it is about surface water withdrawal and groundwater withdrawal. See, look at in this diagram, clearly it is mentioned here that for domestic purpose 9% we are using surface water withdrawal is given there now, okay. So for domestic purpose 9% we are using, industrial purpose 2%, and for agriculture we are using 89%, okay. Now look at here about groundwater withdrawal, how we are using groundwater. For domestic purpose we are using only 3%. Surface water we are using more compared to domestic water, okay. The domestic water 3%, for industrial purpose we are using 5%. Surface water we are using 2%, okay. Now for agriculture we are using 92%. Surface water 89%, but groundwater we are using 92%. I hope clear to everyone. So children, today we will stop here only. We discuss our first point, our water resources, that is surface water, groundwater and lagoon and backwater. So look at here, I want to explain you about this map. Look at here, you go through your map that is given on page number 156. So look at this map, clearly it is given there. See here, many river names are given there. It is about the river basins. So go through this map, read it, observe it very carefully. See, river names are given there: Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj. Indus basin is given there: Ganga, Yamuna, Gangotri, Kosi. Tapi basin is given, Godavari basin. So go through this map, read it very carefully and practice it. Okay. So today we will stop here only. Today we discuss about our first point, that is our water resources. In next period we will discuss about importance and need for irrigation in India. So till that, read your chapter very carefully and do inside question answer in your notebooks. Okay. External question, outside question we will do afterwards. Till that you have to complete, read it very carefully, go through your chapter, go through this map, and write inside question answers in your notebooks. Okay, have a good day. God bless you.